It's my honor to welcome one of your own to the NACOM conference, the Louisiana State Court Administrator, Ms. Sandra Vunovich. Judicial Administrator Sandra Vunovich took office in March 2014. She previously served as Executive Counsel to the Supreme Court of Louisiana and Chief Justice Burnett J. Johnson. She served in that same capacity for retired Chief Justice Catherine D. Kimball and retired Chief Justice Pascal F. Calogero, Jr. In 95-96, she served as Senior Law Clerk to then Chief Justice Calogero, and she served as a legislative aide to United States Senator J. Bennett Johnson in Washington, D.C., before returning to Louisiana to attend law school. She clerked for then Chief Justice John A. Dixon. He did a lot of clerking. Before returning at the Louisiana Supreme Court, she practiced law in Louisiana, in New Orleans from 87 to 94. She has a double major BA from Newcomb College of Tulane and a Juris Doctorate from Louisiana State University. Married to Joseph R. Lorenzo, they are parents of 2 children, and let me congratulate you. Hello.
Good afternoon, NACOM. Thank y'all for the invitation to be with y'all today. I want to echo what my Chief Justice said this morning, and welcome to New Orleans. How many of y'all, this is your first trip to New Orleans? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's pretty impressive, and thank y'all for coming. Unfortunately, you're here during a typical July, weather-wise. The weather forecast, hot and rainy today, tomorrow, during this week. But no need to panic, just get an umbrella and one of those neck fans that you see people walking around in. Don't you wish you had invented that thing? I mean, they're everywhere. It's great to see so many of you here today. I'm especially glad and proud to see so many of our homegrown court administrators from across Louisiana. And we have also excellent representation from our deputy judicial administrators from the Louisiana Supreme Court, which, by the way, my title is technically judicial administrator, and that's actually in our state constitution, but it is the equivalent of state court administrators throughout the state. My very first COSCA meeting that I attended, one of the older board members made a motion that all of the titles should be changed to state court administrator. And I kind of panicked because I said, wait, mine's in the Constitution. I'm the judicial administrator. And they said, well, you know, Louisiana always does things differently. So I'm the judicial administrator. So we have great representation from our deputy judicial administrators here. Louisiana has always been a strong supporter of NACOM. In fact, of the 39 presidents of NACOM, 2 have been from Louisiana. And I know this morning the chief mentioned Susie Stinson from Benton, and I know Susie's here. Hey, Susie. Susie also serves with me on the Judiciary Commission of Louisiana. Susie's our citizen member, which is our judicial discipline body, which I provide staffing as the CEO of the commission. Another one of our presidents from NACOM from Louisiana is Scott Griffith, who we do claim him from Louisiana, even though, he did go on to several states. But I know Scott's not here, but I have a rumor that his son is here. Sam, can you hold up your hand for me? Okay, because I have instructions from Scott to make sure I meet you. So anyway, welcome. Past board members from NACOM hailing from Louisiana are Carla Smith, and one of your present law board members is Dawn Palermo from the Jefferson Parish Juvenile Court. To my Louisiana colleagues, thank you for your contributions to NACOM and for representing Louisiana so capably. The agenda for this week's conference is timely and provocative: leadership and challenges for our nation's courts, leading leaders into the new tomorrow. I noticed on the agenda that the breaks are referred to as networking breaks. Along that line, let me encourage you to, in fact, use the breaks, as well as the social events, as a great opportunity to network and meet your peers. I'm always struck by the fact that the field of court management and court administration is basically a niche profession with which many are not familiar. Sometimes the only people who understand what it is that we do are the staff in our own offices and your peers who you have the opportunity to meet with at a meeting like this. However, rest assured that while your neighbor or your banker or your children's teachers have no idea what it is you actually do, your colleagues in this room know. They share your enthusiasm, your frustration, your dedication to the third branch of government. So take advantage of being with your peers, pick each other's brains, share your biggest challenges, and know that everyone in this room and at this conference truly appreciate and value what you do and are well aware of the extreme importance of your contributions in keeping our court systems across this country operating, relevant, and independent. I asked what I should speak about today, and the response was that I should mention some of the initiatives we are undertaking in Louisiana. I'll get to those in a minute. But first, I wanted to offer some useful and practical information which may come in handy during your stay this week. I know you've been given recommendations on what to do while you're here, and more importantly, what and where to eat while in the Big Easy, so I won't repeat those. However, this week you may hear some terms or other words that may be confusing because they have a singular meaning in New Orleans, so I thought I'd explain a few. First, if someone says to you, "Where you at?" they are not asking, "Where are you presently located?" "Where you at?" is a common friendly greeting here. To help you with directions or to clear up confusing questions from your Uber or taxi driver, remember neutral ground is what you probably refer to as a median, the strip of grass or concrete in the middle of a road. Our counties are called parishes. Currently, you're in Orleans Parish. Directions aren't given in terms of north, south, east, west, but rather towards the river, the mighty Mississippi, and towards the lake, Lake Pontchartrain. Street names can be confusing, and in fact, when I was walking in, I saw one of the rooms here as the Burgundy Room, and I thought, okay, I'm sure the attendees are going to be sent to the Burgundy Room, and they're going to have no idea what that is because they think it's the Burgundy Room. Nope, here it's Burgundy. If you order a cup of coffee and you're met with the question, "Chicory?" think before answering. Chicory is a bitter, roasted root brewed in lieu of coffee during the Civil War, which New Orleanians continue to add to coffee because of its strong flavor. Best enjoyed in sweetened cafe au lait, which is coffee and hot milk added, and which you could get at Café du Monde, that's a must stop for those who are new to New Orleans. If you're ordering a po' boy at lunch, you'll be asked if you want that dressed. That means with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise. And what exactly is a po' boy? Well, one origin story is that it started as a cheap sandwich made with French bread and shredded leftovers of roast beef dipped in gravy, served out of the back of restaurants to poor striking workers in the 1920s. When a kitchen cook would spot one of the workers headed to the back door of the restaurant, he would yell, "Here comes one of those po' boys." Hence, a new sandwich was born. If you're asked if you want to order a cold drink with your po' boy, you're being asked if you want to order a soda or soft drink. Go cups are something you're going to become familiar with, no doubt, while you're here, because they're available if you haven't finished your alcoholic drink before leaving a bar or restaurant. And yes, it's true that you can walk around New Orleans with a Go cup with alcohol in it. And in fact, we also have drive-through daiquiri places all over town. Finally, remember, laissez le bon temps rouler. While you're here, let the good times roll. Turning to what's going on in Louisiana in judicial administration, let me publicly compliment our court administrators from across the state who daily tap into their competence and creativity to move our courts forward. At the Supreme Court's Judicial Administrator's Office, which is staffed by some of the most dedicated and competent professionals I have ever known, we are busy. Our Drug and Specialty Courts Division continues to expand. Our Protective Order Registry operates 24/7 to respond to law enforcement inquiries. We have implemented AI software to help organize thousands of pieces of data about tort cases that have been filed in the state for the last few years. We compile information on revenues and expenses of all courts in the state and post it on our website in an effort to keep track of how much it costs to run the courts in our decentralized court system. We are developing a portal for our state judges to utilize for required reporting to our office. I know our court administrators from Louisiana here are going to be glad to hear that. And our Judicial Council is studying how best to address the shortage of court reporters. Our Children's and Family Division provides assistance to our CASA and FINS programs, as well as our court improvement programs. These and additional judicial administration projects are recounted in our annual report, which you can find on the Louisiana Supreme Court website. But I do want to specifically mention two additional recent initiatives. The first in the area of judicial security. This past legislative session, Louisiana joined the ranks of about 32 other states in enacting laws to protect our judges. As I'm sure you're all aware, physical attacks on judges have become all too common. Notably, judges or their family members in Texas, New Jersey, and most recently, sadly, Maryland have been killed or seriously wounded. Judicial independence is essential to our democracy, and our judges should be free to make decisions without fear for their personal safety or that of their family members. In recognition that steps needed to be taken to ensure the safety of Louisiana judges, the Louisiana Supreme Court reinvigorated its Judicial Security Committee. Among other initiatives, this committee immediately embarked on seeking legislation to protect a judge's personal identifying information. After numerous committee hearings and floor debates, the Louisiana legislature recently passed two important bills. The first bill is narrowly tailored to protect all current and retired state and federal judges by allowing them, either on their own or through our office, to submit a written request that a governmental entity remove or not publish a judge's personal identifying information from any website or online publication. Also protected is information such as the judge's children's names, schools, etc. The legislation also provided that a third party to whom a request is made shall remove the judge's or family member's PII upon request. The bill's effective date is February 1st, 2025, and we are currently drafting forms and gathering other necessary information for its implementation. And we're going to be reaching out to some of those other states who've already done this so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel in drafting our forms. The second bill created a 20-person interagency task force composed of representatives of all three branches of government and law enforcement that will work to study and recommend minimum requirements for all aspects of courthouse safety. We're also looking forward to progress with the bill currently pending in the United States Congress to create a state judicial threat intelligence and resource center. I'm sure that's something y'all are all following as well. The second initiative I want to specifically mention is our continued efforts to integrate criminal data. All state courts, as you know, have an ever-growing list of data reporting and sharing responsibilities, and Louisiana is no different. For the last several years, we have worked to modernize our system with new technology and processes to automate reporting, improve efficiency, and improve data accuracy. In particular, we are addressing the state's criminal data sharing infrastructure. Like many of the states here today, Louisiana created a policy board of statewide criminal justice stakeholders to oversee our own integrated criminal justice information system, or ICJIS. This board is chaired by the Louisiana Supreme Court and includes leaders from the courts, clerks, law enforcement, the legislature, and the governor's office. It is tasked with making improvements affecting all agencies and offices participating in the ICJIS system by creating a common forum to address the technical and procedural issues within the criminal justice system. This board makes recommendations to establish technical and procedural standards, review legislation, and report on the effectiveness of the criminal justice system. The exchange and sharing of data within this state and throughout the nation is essential for public safety and public protection and to ensure the administration of justice operates efficiently. According to a 2023 FBI CJIS report, Louisiana leads the nation in the reporting of firearm prohibition records sent to the FBI NICS index, and is second only to New York in reporting qualifying domestic violence protection orders. Unfortunately, Louisiana's internal criminal data sharing system does not lead the nation. This is an area where we are focusing our efforts for improvement because the quality and completeness of this data directly affects public safety. Over the last 2 years, we've been working to fundamentally improve the system. Louisiana has developed a comprehensive long-term strategy to fundamentally upgrade our technology to modern standards, develop statewide interface standards, establish governance over these standards, and encourage legislation that supports these changes. Interagency data analysis is being conducted to identify areas for improvement. Recent legislation will assist in improved and more comprehensive data collection. We are committed to this project, led by an energetic ICEGIS board and dedicated staff. Thank you again for the invitation to be here today, and thank you all for everything you do for our courts throughout the country. Once again, welcome to New Orleans, and while you're here, take a walk in the French Quarter, tour our stately Louisiana Supreme Court building. I understand the chief invited y'all to come do some tours, so maybe we can set that up for you. Listen to some music, join a second line, be inspired by all the sights and sounds of our fair city. Above all, enjoy your stay and don't go home hungry. Have a great conference.
Let's thank Judicial Administrator Vunovich. Thank you for your speech. Next up, we will be hearing from Carrie Summers-Nomura. She's a representative of the Early Career Professional Committee talking about the NACM CARES program. Did she show? There she is, all right.
Good afternoon, everyone. I too was one of those people that got a ridiculous canceled flight, then delayed flight, all of the things. So I really appreciate that everyone is here. It is my esteemed honor to introduce to you the recipient of NACM's annual NACM's Cares fundraiser. While there's a strong presence of CASA organizations, and for those of you that are not familiar with that terminology, it's court-appointed special advocate. There's a strong presence of CASAs around the nation. However, we're really privileged to the recipient this year for our fundraiser is going to be CASA Jefferson. And so please join me in welcoming Wendy McGee, who is the executive director of CASA Jefferson. I also, real quickly, Wendy, come on up, but I just real quickly wanted to point out to everyone that there's cards on your tables, and these will also be available tomorrow night as well. One of the QR codes is just to buy some supplies for kiddos in this area, and the other one is to make a cash donation. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. First, I just want to thank everybody for accepting CASA to be the nominee for donations for our CASA kids. I also want to thank Jefferson Parish Juvenile Court judges, Judge Wombo, and all the other judges that are not here, Judge Calagero and Judge Burmaster, and the staff who always support CASA Jefferson. That's one of the things I could really brag on, is that the judges and the staff support our organization 100%. Like they were saying, my name is Wendy McGee. I'm the executive director for CASA Jefferson. CASA, which is Court-Appointed Special Advocate, is a nonprofit organization. We are dedicated to advocating for children who are in foster care, who no longer feels that they have a voice. Our dedicated volunteers go out to their homes and give them a voice in court. CASA Jefferson is one of the 18 programs serving in Louisiana, but CASA Jefferson exclusively only serve East and West Bank of Jefferson Parish. Currently, we have 69 children that are assigned to a volunteer and 38 other children who are waiting for someone to be a voice for them. Our school supply drive directly benefits our CASA children by providing essential educational supplies. These tools will help them foster a stable and supportive learning environment. By equipping them with the necessary supplies, we can help them achieve academic success, boosting their confidence and paving a way for a brighter future. Additionally, CASA Jefferson aims to provide uniforms for our CASA children. This is a goal that we have yet to obtain, but with all the generous donations, we'll be able to provide that this year. And I'll leave you with this quote: Advocacy is not always about speaking for others, but empowering them to speak for themselves. Your support help us do just that. Thank you again.
I'd like to call to order and welcome everyone to the 2024, boy, if I could talk, business meeting. So with that, I ask our treasurer if we have a quorum. Okay, thank you. And as noted in our bylaws, a quorum is 1/10 of the membership that's available at that particular meeting. So we definitely exceed that. So thank you very much. We will open the business meeting, and the first order of business that you will see, this was emailed to all members back in early June. It was a bylaw amendment to Article 1, Section 1, and Article 1, Section 2 of the bylaws of our mission and vision statements. And if we could put that slide up that has okay. So this is the current mission statement as it reads. The mission of the National Association for Court Management is to develop proficient court managers with leadership skills, a commitment to excellence, to support the independence and interdependence of the judiciary with other branches of government, to provide efficient and customer-oriented justice, and to promote partner-based research. What we have proposed, and this was put forward by initially by the governance committee and then sent to the board, and the board approved to be put before the members today, and this is the proposed mission statement. Proposed mission of the National Association for Court Management is to be an inclusive member organization dedicated to developing all court professionals as leaders, providing community sharing information, and advocating on important court and justice system topics. So with that, we need a formal motion from the floor to introduce this topic for discussion. So do I have a motion? Okay, thank you. We have a motion on the floor as for the proposed motion, mission statement change. Do we have a second? Thank you very much. So with that, we will open the discussion phase. And we did receive several comments. Brandon Kimura, who's our co-chair of the governance committee, did field some of those comments and shared them with the board. But we want to see if there are any comments from the floor at this time. Okay, so seeing no comments, what we will do, we will close the discussion phase. And now we will declare a vote. And what I can tell you all for the voting process, and Aaron is putting this in the app as we speak. So if you go to your home screen on the app, now you're not going to be able to see my phone, but if you go to the second page where you'll see the NACM game, right next to the NACM game, there is bylaw vote. Now, she doesn't have the poll up yet, but she's probably, where is Aaron? Is Aaron in the room? Oh, there she is. She's back there. She's in the process of putting it up. Just popped up. So the vote is now open. What I will tell you is you can't vote early and often. You can only vote once, please. But please vote because we will be closing the voting at the recess of today's meeting. So it's not even, the meeting does not adjourn, it just recesses. And we will be finishing that up in about the next, hopefully within the next 30 minutes. So that is we call that proposed mission statement to a vote at this time. We also have a proposed vision statement change. And Wes, if you could put that up, please. So the proposed vision statement, and the reason why we don't have the current is because it's exactly the same thing with one word exception, and that's the word it's highlighted and underlined, and that's inclusive. So it's the National Association for Court Management will continue to be a global leader in the achievement of an independent, interdependent, inclusive, accessible, and forward-looking judicial branch that is committed to excellence. NACOM will provide outstanding service to its members through quality professional development, relevant publications, collegial fellowship, and opportunities to participate in the organization. The core values of integrity, diversity, visionary leadership, innovation, and collaboration will be reflected throughout NACOM. So do I have a motion from the floor to adopt the vision statement? Thank you, Frank. Do we have a second? I'm sorry. Oh, Heidi's the second. Thank you very much. Any discussion on the proposed vision statement? As I said, it's the same language with the exception of one additional word. Okay, thank you. So we will call the question, and please remember once again to use it in your app to vote. There should be two options: in favor of or opposed for the vision statement. What we will do, we will tabulate these votes and then announce them Thursday morning when the business meeting reopens at 8:30. Anyone have any questions regarding how to vote? Poll's not in there yet? Okay, just give it a minute. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hello. Hi. This is the voice of God. The poll is active, but it may be the internet delay or something, so you may have to just refresh your app in their phone.
Okay, so that's different. Okay, thank you. So if you look under the meeting tab, it will be there under the agenda piece of the app, the agenda feature. Yeah, if you go into the agenda and then scroll down to Monday, lunchtime, business meeting, click on business meeting, and there is a link there as well that will take you to the poll. Okay. We will continue. But in the interest of time, we're going to move on, but we'll continue to remind you all about that. So I'll turn it now to our treasurer, Mr. Greg Lambart, for the treasurer's report.
All right. Hello again. So this will be very brief, treasurer's report. Could you please move ahead? All right. Our latest numbers show strong income as of the end of May, $935,000. The expenses will grow exponentially once we get through the annual conference, but we are confident that we're on a good footing at this point. We have a total of $1.2 million in the bank, and investments are at $716,000. And we've been doing pretty well for a return this year. Thus far, up to May 31st, we've got something in the neighborhood of $45,000 worth of interest. So that is nice to see. I'm now going to move on into starting the committee reports. So please have, there we go. Before we get to the core committee, I want you to know that there's QR codes. Where are they, by the way, the QR codes? On your IDs, and you can use that, pardon me? You've got to find a board member. Okay, we can do this. see us, and on the back of our things, you'll see a QR code. So you can come right up to us, get a QR code. It'll take you right to the committee pages. And we ask that you really consider being on a committee. Anything that gets done between conferences is all about the committee work. If you're interested in getting involved, you're interested in being on the board or what have you, or having just more of a voice than you normally get, the committees are the way to do it. So if you haven't done that in the past, or you've only been, I don't know if I want to do it, please consider it. And also just be comfortable coming to a committee meeting and just listening. If you don't want to speak, that's fine. Learn what we're doing. Eventually, you're going to get comfortable, and eventually, you probably won't stop talking. So here we are. All right. The core committee is responsible for maintaining, pardon me, can you go back? Is responsible for maintaining the 13 core curriculum. I know you heard about it a lot this morning. Some of you took core courses today. I know that because our emails are popping with people taking instructional response tests to get credit. So that's the main thing the core committee does, but we also have done some very good work this year. We reviewed all the curricula with regard to IT and regard to DEI, and those notes and whatnot would be passed on to future iterations of curriculum reviews. We've worked hard to expand the number of core training sessions. So we do core trainings at conferences. We do them in webinars. We had an excellent one by TJ Ment this year. We're going to have one in January as well. And we're also starting to do regional training, some sponsored by SJI, and then some where the jurisdiction that's interested will pay for trainers to come out and provide free training to those jurisdictions. We're starting to get some interest on that, and if something your jurisdiction is interested in, please see me or Kelly, and we can tell you a little bit more about that. We also have worked to get more people trained to be trainers so we can provide those regional trainings all over the country. Thank you. Can you move forward? As I said, it gets done by committees, and even more so, it gets done by subcommittees. We had a committee on IT review. We had a committee on DEI review led by Richard Lynch from Michigan. We had a committee for additional trainings led by Charles Mepp out of Nevada. Please go forward. We have generic PP slides and executive summaries chaired by Norman Meyer. We had a committee on additional trainers, and we had one on self-assessments to be used with these. And finally, we had one on the creation of training and talking points, that one led by Jude Del Priore. We always like to acknowledge committee members who have gone above and beyond. 3 of our committee work group chairs are Charles Mapp, Sr. from Nevada, Norman Meyer, Jr., I guess he says he's from New Mexico. He seems like he's a lot of places, and Richard Lynch from Michigan. Please join me in congratulating our committee award winners for the core. I see Richard over there. I'm not sure about Charles, but if you're here, please gather over there after this report's done, and we'll take pictures together. And the last thing I want to mention, keep going, please. Yes. Oh, there's a clicker. I apologize. I'll use a clicker going forward. Val keeps everybody straight, okay? And if you need to know what to do, you talk to that lady right there. All right, there's a clicker up here, so all right, who knew, you know. We've had a great year at the core. 184 current participants. Last year we had 354 tests turned in. This year, prior to this moment, we had 321, and as I said, it's happening right now. And also, the last number is not updated because we've had 2 more people become core champions since we made this slide. So I will now try to push the button to see if it works. Look at that. That is amazing. Value rock. All right. Something that's very nice that Kelly Hutton's colleague did in North Dakota, who has some nice talents. She has made a little plaque for anybody who is awarded a core champion status. So we will be handing those to folks that are attending the day. I will quickly go over the champions we have. Audrey Anger, TJ Bennett, Erin Biggs, Brianna Check, Julia Champion, Christy Cox, Rachel Downing, David Engel, Whitney Freeze, Jason James, Cole Indigabo, Dawn Palermo, Gina Rowe, Audrey Roach, Frank Samsel, Lindsay Sahara, and Credell Webb. If any of you are here, we also ask you to gather over here for a picture afterwards, but let's give them a round of applause for their... And I believe Val would tell me to sit down and let the next person come up, which is that you, Jeffrey? No. Who's next? Dawn. Dawn Palermo is up to talk about communications. Thank you.
Okay, so communications is well represented in this room. I'll have you know that we have the most committee members sitting out there. So you can see from our slide, we're a very busy committee. There are numerous projects, always a little bit of something for everyone. So I'll just highlight a few things we did this year. So if you're not aware, our website has now been merged with the core website. So we're one website. Check it out. That's also where you can find all the SRTs and the videos to keep up with your core champions, so you get the award next. We also did the updates to the committee web pages. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to join, see what the committees are doing, and also to click on the link to get to the live meeting announcement and everything. We have podcasts. Peter Kiefer handles that once a month, the 19th of the month. Look for your emails and you'll see those. Webinars. We are going to have 8 this year. And I am happy to announce that our registration has steadily increased. We had over 500 registrants for the core webinar. It was a huge success, and we're going to continue to do more. So reach out, let us know. This is a member organization, so you drive the ideas, you drive the programming. So send in emails, stop and chat me up, and let me know if you have a topic that you really want to learn more about. We'll put it together. Our next webinar is in August, and we have one in September, October, and November already planned. The guides. I am happy to let you know that they're going to be released this week. We have the new AI guide. You're going to be able to go to the guide store and get a copy of that. That is a member benefit. In addition, we have updated our court security guide, which is very timely, so you'll be able to get that also. Social media. If you haven't noticed, check us out. Follow. Natalie has done a great job, and her committee has been posting all conference, so I know there's some new things there. And then last, our publications. We have quarterly publications. Our journal is the Court Manager, and our newsletter is the Court Express. We're always looking for content. We're always looking for new ideas. Whether you want to venture out and become an author, come see me. We'll show you how to do it. It's very easy. Please don't be intimidated. Also, if you have just an idea you need to learn more about, there's some topic that you cannot find anything on, come see us. We'll put something together for you and help you out. I invite you to be part of this wonderful committee. You can either jump on a call that's on the second Tuesday of the month at 4 o'clock Eastern, or you can just come talk to any of us. We'll be happy to explain what we do and how you might be able to get involved. So thank you for all of it. And our next, our awards are, we're going to recognize some people who have been instrumental in some of the guide revisions, which is a huge undertaking. So Miss Audrey Anger from Missouri, I don't think she's here. Rachel McCarthy from Oregon. Tim Leger from Louisiana, and Evan West from Oregon. We'll take a picture at the end. Thank you.
So clicker. All right, so we do have a conference development committee, and as president-elect, I was the chair. And this puts on all of the education content that you guys are experiencing at this conference and at mid-year if you happen to go to that. So please, if you're interested in working kind of behind the scenes and helping out with this committee, please do so. We do also the virtual networking, which we have, and the hosting and fun runs. So those are kind of some of the things that we do on this committee. It's going to be Kelly's committee next year, as she's going to be coming in as president-elect. And so stay tuned for that. And where we're going to be. We're going to be in Atlantic City in February and in Omaha at the annual in July. So stay tuned, and I hope you all can make it. Oh, we do have awards, sorry. Erica Payne-Santiago, are you here? If you're not, that's okay. We'll get a picture with you later. You get an award. And Jeff Chappell for helping out with the Conference Development Committee. And now for our membership committee, which is also an amazing committee, and you should join all of these committees.
I'm Cheryl Stone. I am the Executive Director for the Wilton Rancheria Tribal Court, and I have been the chair of the membership committee for the last couple of years, and I have been passing the baton to...
I'm Christy Collier from Atlanta Administrative Office of the Courts.
So together we have been chairing the membership committee for most of this year, and we have done some exciting things. So the membership committee includes Early Career Professional Subcommittee. If you have not attended one of those meetings and you've worked in the court less than 10 years or you're under 40 years old, they have a training in the last half of their meeting that's useful to you in running your operations and brainstorming with other people who are in similar situations. We have an international committee that does great work and works with the IACA, and now I'm not remembering the International Association for Court Administration. Yes? Okay. And we have a state association subcommittee that Jeffrey headed up this year for us. We also have created some other groups to help us with some of the work. We had somebody in charge of awards this year, somebody in charge of scholarships, and many other duties that Christy will go over later. Some of the things that we have done in this year or in the last couple of years is we have started a land acknowledgement that we did not do previously. We have revived our mentorship program. So if you're new to court administration or if you're struggling in your current situation, please reach out and ask for a mentor. They are fabulous people just to talk to and run things by and give advice. We had a new members call that Christy took the lead on and has been very successful. We've done a number of roundtables. Christy comes from a municipal background, although she's in a different job now, and I have been very interested in tribal courts, so we've tried to pull in those members and listen and understand for them how NACM can better serve them.
Our committee awards for this year are for Tamika Lucas, she's from Georgia, Lillian Triplett from Georgia, and Whitney Freese from Washington. Is Whitney here? Whitney, okay, well, we'll get pictures with them later.
So I'm happy to report, if you've sat on the membership committee any time in the last 2 years, actually, you know that we've spent some time looking at data. We tried to look, I wish we could show you the map. We tried to look at how our membership was distributed across the United States. Our membership has gone up almost 20% in the last 3 years. So that's fabulous. We're at an all-time high for our membership. I'm super excited to report that. We've seen significant increases in Alaska, Colorado, Florida, which I've heard mentioned several times during this conference, Georgia, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Washington State. and Wyoming. So all great. We're super happy with the increased membership. We've done a lot of different events to try and test to increase our membership and reach out and get people to renew. But mostly it's you sharing your experience in NACM with your colleagues and the value that you get from that. So please keep that up.
All right, and last but not least, as Cheryl mentioned, we implemented our new member Zoom call. So we do that every quarter, and if you are new within that quarter, we try to have that Zoom call so that you can learn about the member benefits and the things that we have to offer to you as a new NACM member. The discounts, your voice being heard, about what you may need, and then all events. We have all of the committees come on that call. They can tell you when their meetings are and kind of give you a snippet of what they do, which is really good because if you're new, it's a very big organization to kind of jump into. So it gives you an opportunity to do that. We also are in charge of swag. If you have not gotten your new swag, we have updated swag this year. We had a great contest, and the swag is on Amazon. So if you just go to Amazon, put in NACM, you will see the new swag for this year, and we invite you to get the t-shirts, the tote bags, and everything that we have to offer there. We are also in charge of the scholarships and awards committees. We convene those folks to make sure that the annual scholarships. We have new member scholarships or member scholarships. So if you have someone in your court who maybe your budget doesn't allow, we invite them to maybe apply for that member scholarship. And maybe once they get in for a year or so, then they can figure out a way to get that membership the next year. We also have conference scholarships. So do we have any conference scholarship recipients in here right now? Stand up for us. We've got one over here, a couple of them. Very good. Congratulations. Congratulations. And you'll be hearing from them as well, because after they receive the conference scholarship, they have to do a little, snippet on what they learned and the experience. So you will get to see that also. And then also want to talk about our, Cheryl mentioned the ECP and the state association. So if you are a president of a state association or something of that nature in your state, please join those meetings. We're really trying to get that ramp back up. We'd like representation from all of our states and state associations, so please join that meeting. Let's see. And I think as Don talked about our conference, our publications, and the conferences, webinars, everything like that you're here, so you know that those are great benefits to you. Anything else, Sean? All right, well, join membership. We are currently on the second Wednesday, so join us. The Zoom link is on the website. All right, governance.
Good afternoon again. Brandon Kimura. This year I served as chair of governance, and Nicole Garcia served as my vice chair. It's been a wonderful committee to be a part of for a few years now, and this year we've done quite a bit, I believe. These are just a few of the things that we worked on. So we've, through the governance, do a lot of the business of the organization. So we have an operations and procedures manual. This year, we added to that manual several policies regarding republications, sponsored webinars or articles, honoraria for webinar speakers, since as Dawn shared, we're doing more webinars, social media terms of use and the social media postings. We also incorporated into the ops manual when and how updates will happen to the AI guide that's being launched this week. We worked on the Voice of the Profession survey, which will launch later this week, where we hear about members' interests in policy aspects of the profession. We assisted Rick with the State of the Profession remarks that he'll be giving tomorrow. As Rick had shared earlier, we worked on proposed amendments to the bylaws, and one of the highlights of the year was crafting an original resolution that we had put out earlier this year in recognition of all court employees during Public Service Recognition Week, which is recognized in May of every year. So that we hope to build upon in future years so that we can all, for us and our colleagues, share the good works and acknowledge them for their works. The Ethics Subcommittee had an enormous project this year, updating the Model Code of Conduct for court professionals. Much thanks to Courtney Whiteside for chairing that group as a whole. And in addition to their usual very busy, exciting work of the committee, they tackled this update of the Model Code of Conduct. So that will be posted soon, and much thanks to others as well whose names are on that slide. So our awards for the Governance Committee this year for outstanding contributions are to Courtney Whiteside and to Mandy Sarkeesian, who from the National Center, who had amazing contributions to the original resolution. So that's all for the Governance Committee, but next year you'll be in the very, very capable hands of Nicole, and if you want to see what's in store for next year. So, yeah.
Hello, and we definitely saved the best for last, and that is the NACM Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And my colleague Cordell Webb here and I chaired this committee this year. Last year we released the NACM DEI guide, and in November we had a webinar discussing that guide and how to use it. We also have a SIG session this week on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. If you'd like to join us, that will be live streamed for both for the people who are virtually attending as well. And we have breakout sessions. And the way the DEI committee is organized is we have some formal organized committee work at the beginning, but the focus is actually on the DEI committee members. We are known for having a discussion group at the end of each committee meeting where people are allowed to talk about what's going on in their jurisdiction, what's going on in their state, what are some of the concerns they have, what are some of the successes they have in their DEI programs, and it's been very successful. We learn a lot. Each month we share resources, and all the resources that are shared in the committee meeting are then posted on our website, and we have the highest number of resources available on the DEI committee website. So please go to nacmnet.org, click on committees, check out the DEI committee. And in keeping with that tradition, I do want to focus on the members and those people who are contributing so much in the world of DEI in the court profession. And there are 4 people that we want to highlight today. So the first is Zanelle Brown. Zanelle, are you here? Is she in here? Yep. Oh, okay. Stand up, please. Stand up. So Zanelle Brown has been an active member of the NACM DEI committee since its inception in 2021 and has participated in multiple NACM conference DEI track sessions, including the special interest group this week on developing best practices. Thank you, Zanelle, and your continued support for our committee and your work in this area. John Lang, are you here? John, standing up? Am I seeing him here? Okay. John Lang worked with Credell and I on a conference session in February on collaborating to advance the role of DEI in the judiciary, and that was a very successful and interactive session in Costa Mesa. He returns to this conference for a session on signature counter experience with Valerie Colas, another member of our NACM DEI committee. John is another regular attendee of our monthly meetings and provides valuable input to our open discussions. Thank you, John, for your support for this committee. Toylan Smith. Toylan Smith is the Deputy Court Administrator of the 3rd District in Michigan. Toylan is a regular participant in our roundtable discussions of our committee meetings. She is currently working to implement juvenile reforms. She is a grad of Detroit leadership classes. She's a certified DEI professional and the co-chair of the 3rd Circuit's DEI committee and a former advisory board member of the Michigan Diversity Council. So thank you, Toylan, for your contributions to the NACM DEI committee. And finally, Erica Woodford, she is not available. She is actually driving here. She could not get on a plane. Could not find a flight until Wednesday, so she decided this morning that she was just going to drive. So she and another colleague are on their way, and she is listening to this. So Erica, hello, and welcome to the NACM conference virtually. The citizens of Macomb-Bibb County in the state of Georgia and the entire country can now access records from Bibb County, Georgia, containing over 1,000 deeds and other court records involving the sale of enslaved Africans and African Americans. These records are contained in the official deed books of the clerk's office in Macon, Georgia, where this was a major hub of the Southern slave trade during the antebellum period, and this site offers a unique opportunity to both search and view primary source documents regarding slavery. Researchers, historians, educators, and genealogists will be able to use this site to locate ancestors. Clerk Erica Woodford states, "The Enslaved Peoples Project has been an ongoing labor of love for the past decade. I am so excited that we are now able to share these official court property records with the community at large. As the first African American Superior Court clerk in Bibb County, I am both honored and humbled to unearth these records of our rich shared history. Through this extensive digitization of project, and the public now has access to data and images anytime from any location, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So thank you, Erica, for your work and your dedication in this field. And this is just another example of the excellence that our NACOM members produce. So thank you, Erica. Okay, thank you. Oh, go back. Okay. So thank you. And our committee meets on the third Thursday of each month at 3 o'clock Eastern. And next year, Creedell here will be taking over as the DEI chair.
Well, in my role as past president, one of the main things I do is serve as a mentor and an advisor for the current board. And on the rough days, I also serve as an ear and a shoulder to cry on. But one of my favorite parts of being past president is I get to lead the nominations committee and help shape the future for the next generation of the board of directors. So on Sunday, just a couple days ago, I convened a trusted group of colleagues to join me on the nominations committee. We conducted interviews for about 9 hours on Sunday and met a fantastic group of qualified individuals who are interested and committed to NACOM and helping to shape the future of the association. Unfortunately, we had more people interviewing for positions than we had open positions, so we had the task ahead of us was to determine who was the best qualified to meet the needs of the association. So therefore, per NACOM's bylaws, the current president, Rick Pierce, automatically becomes the next past president of NACOM, as well as the current president-elect of NACOM, Tina Madison, automatically becomes the next president of NACOM. Congratulations. Therefore, Mr. President, the nominations committee would like to submit the following nominations for the next board of directors. As I said, for president, it'll be Tina Madison automatically. The nomination submits for president-elect Kelly Hutton from North Dakota, for vice president Greg Lambard from New Jersey, for secretary-treasurer Roger Rand from Oregon, for one of the 3-year director positions, Whitney Freese from the state of Washington, for the second 3-year position, Courtney Wyside from the state of Missouri, for the third, it's a good thing, congratulate them. For the third 3-year position, Melinda Brooks from Ohio, and for the current 1-year director position, Jeff Chappell from Missouri.
Thank you, Jeffrey, from the nominations committee chair report. And as you see the slate there in front of you, are there any further nominations from the floor? Move to close the nomination. Thank you. Since there are no other nominations and the move has been seconded, the nominations period is closed, and by acclamation, I've now pronounced that this board will be serving as your board for the upcoming year, and thank you for the nominating committee report. So thank you very much. Before we recess, just a couple of announcements. For those who received an award, we're going to be taking photographs with your committee chairs right over here, immediately upon our conclusion here. And is Abby Kuschel from the National Center in the room? Okay. In any event, that means our meeting is in recess. We will reconvene at 8:30 on Thursday morning. Thank you all for your attention, and thank you for your participation in today's meeting.